everyone. I'm Elsa Owsley with Watchman Ministry North, Idaho. And today we're interviewing one of your candidates. She's running for mayor for the city of Spirit Lake. And we have a couple of questions for her, 5 questions, so that you have an opportunity to get to know her better before you go out and vote. So welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
And you're currently in an elected position, right?
Yes, I am. I currently am on city council and have been for the last 20 months.
Oh, wonderful. That's good to know. Okay, so we'll start with why are you running for office?
Well, in that role on the city council, it has allowed me an insight into what the city hall is and how it runs. And after I had been asked by a good dozen individuals, I made the decision to run for the mayor. I love Spirit Lake. I have devoted myself for the last 2.5 plus months, or years, excuse me, to volunteer in different organizations. And I have met some remarkable individuals that I have worked with and collaborated with over the last couple of years. And they asked me to run. They are very familiar with my performance or my status on the city council. I ask questions.
Good.
I seek clarification. And I am quite known for questioning the status quo.
Good. That's what you're elected to do, in my opinion. And second question is, what are your top 3 priorities should you be elected as mayor?
Well, first and foremost, I believe we need an open and transparent government. Our current administration, shortly after I was elected, shut down our public comment period in our city council meetings. My first step will be to open that back up again. At the time that I ran, speakers had to be discussing what was on the agenda. It was not an open topic. That will change. I think it is incumbent upon elected officials to be responsible and accountable to the constituency. And therefore, I will open the public comment period. They will be allowed to speak upon any topic that they wish to discuss, and will be able to present it both to the mayor and to city council. Second, I think through an open and transparent government, our yearly Spirit Lake audits need to be posted on our website. Currently, they are not. If you wish to look and review the yearly audit, you actually have to go into City Hall and review it. That will change. That will be posted so an individual or a resident can actually look at the website, will be able to review the audit at their leisure without actually having to deal with the time constraints of what City Hall is available. It is also my goal to have quarterly town halls to ensure that the public can speak to public officials. In addition, I've already discussed with the Chief of Police, that we will have a coffee hour on a monthly basis with the police department and with the mayor and city officials. It'll be on a rotating basis on who is available, but questions will be able to be posed to those individuals on a more intimate scale. And I think that is a priority because it allows us to obtain what concerns, complaints that the public might have, and attempt to resolve those issues before it becomes a major problem. Third, it is my intent to develop a business consortium. Currently, probably the majority, at least 90% of our business owners do not live in Spirit Lake. And yet what the city does has a profound effect on their businesses. We are currently in the midst of probably losing 4 businesses in Spirit Lake. And with a population of 2,500, that is a significant loss to our tax base. I think those business owners should have a say in what goes on with the city.
Right.
Through that business consortium, they'll be able to bring up concerns, complaints, that the city is doing to hampering or harming their businesses. Once those issues have been delineated, I want solutions. They need to come up with solutions to help what the city can do to resolve those issues. Do we need to change our city code? Do we need to have a review of what is harming their business? Those are my 3 priorities.
Good. Okay. Your third question is on a topic that I think is very important to most North Idahoans, and that is, what are your recommendations to mitigate the impact that the growth is having in North Idaho, including roads, schools, police, fire? We can go on, and all the services that are impacted by that. Though Spirit Lake does not have as much growth as Coeur d'Alene and Hayden and Post Falls, it still is having a lot of growth.
Well, Spirit Lake is in a very unique position. Our city limits are very finite. We don't have the ability to have, this uncontrolled growth that is occurring in Post Falls and Coeur d'Alene. We have one subdivision that is going to be going in probably within the next 3 or 4 years. Following that build up, we are going to be limited to what we can do. We are right in the middle of a sewer moratorium, which means that we cannot build because our infrastructure doesn't handle it. Our water would not be able to handle uncontrolled growth or the large building that is going on in Post Falls. We are in a position where the sewer moratorium won't be lifted until, now they're estimating until 2029, which means that subdivision won't even go in until that time. Once that is lifted, once that subdivision goes in all likelihood, we will go right back into a moratorium. The concerns with the large growth that those cities are experiencing will not be applicable to Spirit Lake. We just don't have the means, and our sewer system is very, very limited. We're in a pond sewer system. Once that subdivision gets built up, we won't have the capacity to go any further than that.
Wow, good to know. Okay, fourth question is also a hot topic for most. The continued increase of property taxes is concerning to most homeowners. What are your suggestions on how to pay for city services needed while trying to maintain lower property taxes to ensure that the homeowners can afford to stay in their homes?
It is my belief that there are alternative methods out there to fund infrastructure. Just last year, our police department received a grant of over $200,000 to pay for radios and cameras inside their units. There are grants through local and state entities that support small rural communities in Idaho. And it is incumbent upon us as a government to seek out all sources of finances that we could, or funding that we can. And that is one of my goals, is to actually hire or seek out grant writers so the city can try to obtain those funding sources. Our population is 2,566. A large portion of those are on fixed income, whether they be low income or retirees. And we have to acknowledge that every time you increase taxes, it puts a burden on those homeowners.
Agreed.
I'm on a fixed income. I am retired. And we cannot continue to seek out taxes in order to pay for our infrastructure. We have to think outside the box. We have to seek out alternatives.
That's good. I agree. And then what is your background and how will it help the city should you be elected?
Primarily, in respect to my background, I'm a retired registered nurse. I have, in that capacity, worked on contract negotiations. I've worked in very volatile, stressful, chaotic situations where it is required to remain calm, logical, and work with others. I have also been a steward representing registered fellow nurses. I've also got a background in legal secretarial work. I've worked with attorneys privately and with the Department of Labor in a capacity that is working closely with looking at legal documents, proofreading, making suggestions, things of that nature. I have, on the council, worked for the last 2 years creating a city budget. I believe that I can provide a strong background working with the community. I know for a fact that I don't know everything. I know for a fact that I'm going to need resources. I've had over a dozen individuals ask me to run for the mayor. Those same individuals had committed to me that they would support and provide resources and provide assistance when I request it. My goal is to work with the community, work with members of the community to ensure that our city succeeds and thrives. We need to support our businesses. We need to support the residents. And I believe that I can do that through the connections that I've made in my nonprofit volunteer work.
Good. Thank you. And then finally, your closing statement, anything at all that you want to cover?
Well, primarily, I would like the voters to know that I will be a citizen-strong, business-oriented mayor. I love Spirit Lake. I have made some exceptional contacts, and I have collaborated with individuals of the city to ensure that the city survives. I am known for researching, asking questions, carefully reviewing, and critiquing any documents that are presented to me. And for the last several years, I've worked with the Spirit Lake Chamber of Commerce. I've worked with the Senior Center, the Spirit Lake Community Coalition, and the Heart and Soul program that was initiated about 2 years ago. We were provided a grant through Innovia for the Heart and Soul program, and that is a program wherein they bring together neighbors and survey them to shape the future of Spirit Lake. And we're in the midst of doing that survey for that program right now. I am the founder of our annual silent auction that benefits the Spirit Lake Community Center and the Meals on Wheels program. The first year we raised $1,500. Last year was over $12,000. And we just had our event Wednesday night, and it looks like we have raised approximately about $10,000, give or take. We don't have the final numbers yet. I and another co-founder are going to be starting up a Christmas gala. This will be our inaugural event in December, wherein nonprofits are asked to participate. And the funds raised from that event will be distributed to the nonprofits in Spirit Lake that participated in that event. I feel it is incumbent upon an individual in any city to give back. I think that it benefits the community when you give back to the community. I know that's kind of redundant, but I think it's important as individuals and God-fearing individuals that we support those that we work with and those that we are surrounding us, family, friends, community. I ran for city council the first year in 2021 and I lost. God had a plan on me because within the next 2 years I ended up having medical problems and then my husband had medical problems. And so I would have had to quit the council. He said, the second time, run, and I won. And I think that I have, with God's grace, made sure that I've definitely supported the residents of Spirit Lake, and I would continue to do so.
Wonderful. Well, I understand about giving back, which is why we do what we do. So anyway, thank you so much for participating. We've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for watching.